Perfect. Make sure I'm not going to become a ghost. So, can you guys all see me in that camera? Right? I'm orange, red, and yellow, and everything around me is black or blue. So, with that being said, if you take me out of the picture, it's going to fluctuate, and I'll go up and down several times so everybody can see it. So the trees above me should turn orange, red, and yellow. Okay, you guys all kind of got the gist of that? Okay, so what are we looking for in here? I have this guy set to white, hot, black, cold. Black and blue being the coldest areas inside the screen. Sorry, you guys don't need to see all my notifications. This is a spare cell phone. It's not my actual cell phone. So really what we're looking for are those blue or black spots to move on their own. There's obviously going to be blue areas. But if they start moving on their own intelligently, we obviously have something. I will be honest with you, last week I caught 2 black apparitions of people. And I will show that video once we get to that location to kind of prove how this guy actually works.
You could tell the shape looked like human shape.
They were moving.
Okay.
I will show you. You will tell me. I'll show you the video. So I think I'm going to hand this off to the skeptic.
Okay.
So you're going to hold that horizontal all night long. The camera is right behind here. Do you see the red square on the screen?
Yep.
That means it's recording.
Okay.
Okay, so in the event that that turns into a circle, let me know. And hit it again so it turns back to a square. I'll have to splice your videos together.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
So you're looking for blue, black,
White or black?
White is hot. We don't want hot. We want the cold.
We want cold.
So also I'll let you guys know our first actual location we're going to go to is a little bit further, deeper training. And I will work with you guys one-on-one. It is haunted. It just doesn't have a long story behind it. And I'll kind of show you more about your devices. So, I want to make sure we get Colton taken care of. Can you speak up for us when something's going on? Alright, let me explain what this guy is. Where's my ghost hunting show fans?
Welcome to Charleston!
Yeah, thanks. Here. So,
They were ghosts, by the way. They were black.
nice. I love it. It also records audio, so we're going to hear his commentary all
Oh
night.
no, okay, I'll stop.
No, we actually want that. That's one reason why I give it to a skeptic. So, check that out. I think that's fake. He's rigging stuff. An EMF meter. They don't explain these things on the TV shows, but this is the same one that they use because it's super sensitive. So what does this guy do? It measures 3 different types of electromagnetic fields. That's an invisible field coming from different types of things. The first one will be natural from the earth. That's why it's green. A pulse will come from any kind of cell phone or any kind of wiring or a building or something like that. Parking meters are a perfect example. We don't want that pulse either because we can debunk that. I'm not here to make stuff up for you guys. I'm going to tell you flat out, we're going to try to debunk things first. If it goes crazy and lights up like a Christmas tree, Colton, that's when you need to speak up. It's all about you, buddy. Can you handle that? So I will work with you on that. You just got to let us know when it lights up. Spirit boxes. We're going to be using several spirit boxes tonight, okay? This one in particular actually records the entire suite. So what does that mean? A spirit box is basically, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm screaming at you guys with this traffic. I'm not a drill sergeant, I promise. So, a spirit box is just basically an FM radio scanner. So kind of think of it as a police scanner. It's going to go through all the FM radio stations very quickly, as you can already see on the screen, where it's flipping through them all. It will record the entire sweep, even when it's on mute. So right now, I already have it set, it's recorded. So when I'm telling stories and going through the motions of things, obviously we're going to turn the spirit boxes down, but this one is nice and you're going to get this whole recording back. So I will tell you some of the things that I catch to help you guys listen to the whole thing. Also keep in mind, between all these devices, you're going to collect about 8 hours worth of data. I do 2 tours a night. I am not spending 16 hours of my day going through all of your data. I give it about 2 hours per tour in the mornings, and then you usually have it all back by noon. So I kind of give you some highlights, but you guys get to keep that data for whatever you want to do with it. You guys look like you're very enthused with this. I need 2 sets of ears. So the only thing you need to do is there's a volume button, okay? It's right here at the top. It's a wheel, so you control the volume. Now, I also have this thing set a little slower than your ghost hunting TV shows do. Your TV shows are for ratings and commercials. It's not what this is. I have that slowed down so radio chatter actually comes through. I want you to hear the DJs, the song lyrics, and the commercials. If you hear something you can make out, then I want you to tell me what that is. Okay? It could be nothing, but it could also be a very relevant message to the location of where we're going to be. Does that make sense? It's going to be like Bumblebee from Transformers. Okay. It's the easiest way to explain it. This is another spirit box. It does not record. It works the exact same way that theirs does, only it doesn't record. So I'm going to set it to sweep. Actually, I'm going to too fast. So this is going to go to the two of you. I always put 2 sets of ears on it. There's one button on the back of the speaker. You can move it however you want to. It's already sweeping, as you can see. So when I say spirit box is up, you just hit the center button, and both of you listen to kind of verify what you heard. So I'm going to teach you guys more about that later.
Wait, the center button of this.
Center button of the speaker, yeah,
Okay,
right
got
there.
it.
You have to do this.
Oh my gosh, Becky,
A lot of technical stuff. Wow,
Honey.
look at him testing things out.
you have a
Love it.
spirit right behind you.
Love it.
I'm just kidding.
Very on it.
What do you see more activity for the month of Halloween?
I will tell you that tonight
Turn
will
towards me.
probably be my most active night.
Your nose is thermally.
October 16th.
You're like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Right?
I need it
Actually,
to
give
get
me the- All right.
Oh, it's
So I now have the neuralizer for Men in Black. I need you all to stay right there. Ah, you guys got my joke. Love it. It's actually a grid pen.
Oh, that's cool.
So, what do grid pens do? First off, they can get Nick arrested very, very quickly. Don't hand this off to kids, as you guys can imagine. It actually helps us see things we can't see with the naked eye. See how you can't see the lights in between until something actually passes through it. So, in the event something does pass through it, it's going to be very quick, and it's almost so bright that it's going to be out of the peripheral, out of your eye. That's going to go to you, sir.
This is so fun.
Don't hold that. You're going to literally go straight down. It'll be all right. Trust me, I will scream and yell. You're going to get me arrested. So you're literally going to point it straight down. You're going to turn it on. Go about 5
I haven't caught.
Take a picture of your
I haven't caught any dark stuff yet.
Oh, right. Okay, there we go.
Should I have a flashlight?
like that it explains so much.
Well, absolutely.
I have one more. One more laser. Why do I use one with grids and boxes? Because this one, in the event we actually capture something right here and we get a picture of it, I can then put it into 3D software and give you guys a full view of the full apparition that we caught. How cool is that? Now, have I caught anything with this guy yet? I have not. But, could be the number. So,
You're honest.
don't cross the streams. Ghostbusters! Yes, they got it!
We're going to do that!
Alright, so we have a skeptic over here holding a thermal imaging camera. We want to make sure what he sees is legit. So I have 2 different types of thermometers to verify what we find. So the first one, we should all know what this is. This is a surface temperature guide. It's only going to measure where the red dot lands. So in the event, Jason, was it?
Yes,
I'll be
Jason.
nice for a second. So Jason's
Be
standing
nice.
where I am, and he says, "Hey Nick, I can't believe it, but there's a blue spot on that wall, and everything around it is red and orange." The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that it's not the wall. I'm going to shoot the red laser all the way across, and I'm going to see that the temperature on the wall is legit. It's even all the way across. I now know that that blue spot that you see is between Jason and the wall. Does that make sense? Because it's not the wall. We have an ambient thermometer with a probe at the top that measures humidity and temperature. So this isn't our most active tool, but when we need to find out and what that legitimate cold spot is that he found, this will help us determine what that cold spot is actually doing. This guy, on the other hand, this will help him verify some of the different types of temperatures that he's seeing around him. So you, because he has that, you're in charge of that.
The temperature read is scanned?
Yep.
Okay.
So again, the yellow one, you can almost pocket it or put it in your purse if you want. It's the gun that we're really going to
blue
be.
one's important.
The blue one, I just need to keep doing this.
Yes, and
When-
it is a laser.
Whenever I see something,
Yeah,
right?
and again,
You'll
every
help us.
location, I'm going to give very specific direction.
Don't shoot that in anyone's eye.
And last but not least, Emmy, I'm putting you in charge of pictures. So,
You and your lasers.
first off,
So,
you want to tell me how old you are? 13. So I'm going to explain
good
what this
Lord.
is because Emmy is 13.
yeah.
This is a point and shoot camera.
Uh,
So I'm going to explain what this is because Emmy is 13. This is a point and shoot camera.
yeah.
So, in the event,
That's
something
Could be a Polaroid.
Cell phone. It's just a camera. You can take as many pictures as you want, but nobody along this wall can be in the picture. And there are certain places with cars that I'll say kind of keep the pictures away from the cars as well. You can get a little funny about it. There is no flash on this camera. I turned it off. Sorry. So I turned it off because in the event that, let's say Emmy takes a picture of a building with windows, I then have false positives of all that flash coming back on the windows. I don't analyze the pictures that I see that are a little funky. I send them off to the wife. She does all my graphic design work for Stories in a Cemetery and has a major in photography. So she'll be able to tell me if what we found is legit or not. So, did I send you guys all a link to the page?
Yeah.
Did you guys get a chance to check that out? You guys got a gist of what we're going to be doing here? Okay. All right, I think I sent it to all of you. Maybe, did you guys get it too?
I'm not sure. When I looked at the ghost store, I looked at it. Oh,
Yeah, but the evidence page goes to a different website. That's my website.
okay.
So it's okay.
I might not have looked on that one.
I don't always do that, but I ran out of business cards at the end of the tour to hand you guys to check things out ahead of time. So you're going to have a direct link tomorrow anyway, but at least like for you guys to know what you're getting yourselves into. All right, so last but not least, I got to use a few things, right? I have to be involved. It can't just be the lead guy that follows you guys around. So first thing I do is I actually have a backup EMF in case Colton's goes bad. And I'm doing really good with names tonight, I got to tell you guys.
Yeah, good job,
So,
Nick.
I'm horrible with names. You would think the writer knows his characters, but when I see 200 of you guys a week. So in case his goes dead, I have a backup. I also use 2 spirit boxes on my phone. Now, I'm going to explain these. I'm actually going to give us a word from time to time in the center of the screen. And then what it's going to do is it's going to save it into a list. Last night's tour, they had 80 terms. I'm going to clear them out to start you guys off fresh because they already have theirs. 80% of this is garbage. Doesn't mean anything. But I leave this open all night for you guys to kind of witness the words that'll pop up. I will try to connect something, but until I can verify something for you, I won't highlight it unless I can give you a link to show you where I got the data from. Does that make sense? It's only the 15 to 20% that actually makes sense. The second thing I use is a reverse spirit box, which is going to be hard to hear over here, but I do like to give you guys an example of what it sounds like. I debunked this one too. It is literally a man and a woman just saying words, and then they flip the audio backwards. So it's going to sound like complete garbage to us. But when something comes through, and I'll play an EVP for you later, when we're in a quieter area, of how clear it'll come up. But for now, you guys need to know what it sounds like, because it's going to come up on your audio. See how I feel? I can't make anything out. So, it's an interesting tool to have. I know, it starts off with a pro sound. They wanted to add some spookiness to it. So, at any rate, I use both of those spirit boxes at the same time, and there might be times where I give you guys all direction based on the location, and I say go, so I can do my own spirit box session. So, you guys want to hear some stories now?
Yeah.
We about ready? You guys done hearing me talk? I hope not, because we got at least another hour of this. So, we're standing at Big John's Tavern. Big John was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. I hate sports, and I don't like talking about it, but this was his bar. He was from here. So, Big John used to sit in the back of the bar and nod off to the bartender about the cadets that would come over from the Citadel. So he would tell them if they were of age or not. One night, 2 guys came in, they're not of age. Big John tells them, cut them off. The cadets can leave because they get mad. They come back the next night and try to steal the cash register. Big John pulls out his gun, getting a little rough and tumble about it. A couple of shots are fired. That bullet hole is still in the wall of this building. I bring that up on purpose because it is not any kind of ghost that truly haunts this place other than Big John rattling some bottles from time to time, but it's that bullet hole. It is said at times when people sit in the front of this bar, they start to not feel well, a little queasy, dizzy, headaches, those kind of things. That's paranormal activity having its way on us. Okay? If any of you are feeling any of those things, and I don't say this to scare you, because technically this is not a scary tour. I say this out of seriousness. If anybody's not feeling well, please speak up for the other person in your party, because they're going to say, no, let's keep going. First time somebody passed out on me on a nice cool night like this, I was in CPR class the next day. So it's not the only time it's ever happened. So you guys got to speak up. Big deal to me. I know. So take a deep breath. All right, the other story that actually comes out of here is the mantle above your heads. We had a big earthquake here in 1860. Oh my God, not 1860. 1868. I'm sorry, 1868. and a piece of the mantling from the front of the building fell off, killed somebody, and apparently there it goes to sit to be seen right here on East Bay. I don't have proof of that. That all came from the previous owner of this bar, King Rum Bar, which he's no longer here. He's in Florida. So, you guys ready to take a walk and go get some more?
Yeah.
Get used to your gadgets. We're gonna head this way. Look at you leading the way.
Where you from, Nick?
Youngstown, Ohio, originally.
Okay. Yeah, we're from Wisconsin.
Oh, you guys came all quite a ways, huh?
Yeah, yeah. My wife took me for my birthday. I've never been to South Carolina.
It's an interesting place.
What brought you here?
I was in retail management for over 20 years, and the company I was with actually moved me and my family down here.
Ironically, we live across the street from Kohl's corporate headquarters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not that that's cool retail, but it's retail.
Yeah. I got out of retail. If I ever get back in, it'll be a storage and cemetery.
There you go.
That's the whole point of
Cool.
what I'm building this up to.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right. Now that we got everybody in here, I know we didn't go very far. So here's what's going on here. First off, know that Fruit Cafe that I sent you guys to for the restroom, they have a suicidal haunting that goes on in there. I don't have any proof of it because it used to be a slave home. Slave homes do not have addresses. I cannot verify any kind of ownership. I can't verify anything. It is a two-story building, which means there's an add-on addition or rebuild, reconstruct. I have no idea what's going on with that building. I do get an EMF upstairs, but if I did a full investigation, I could probably debunk it pretty quickly. So I'd just like to put that out there. There is something I'm diving into. The history buff. Or classic Fruit Cafe. It's not fun. Probably you guys mentioned Flushy. It's probably that lot right there. So everybody kind of picture the peninsula of Charleston in your head. It was much skinnier back during the Revolutionary War. So a ship rolls up, the water's this way, shoots a cannon, lands at the stop sign, no deaths, no tragedy, no paranormal activity. Just one of those little history nuggets that I like to throw in there. You guys are gonna get weird little facts from me from time to time throughout the night. So I kind of have to appease everybody. We all love facts, right? So where are we now? This is what I call the Red Barn Lot. This is where we keep the horses for your carriage rides. Horses are inside. So those of you with lasers, first and foremost, they cannot go on that building at all, including the thermal infrared. You can't put it on that building anywhere. You will spook those ponies. I'm relatively friends with these people, trying to keep it calm and peaceful. So the other piece of history I have about this building is that it is the same barn lot that they kept the horses that delivered milk to Charleston. So that's all the history I have. That's why this is a great practice area. So let's go kind of down the line and talk about your devices here and kind of what to expect, because this is really your first interaction with these tools you have in your hand. So let's talk spirit boxes first, only because there's several of them out there. Spirit boxes, on your TV shows, they start rattling off questions and start rattling up those ghosts, right? That's what they want. TV ratings say get them angry and get them moving around. Well, that's not how this really works. Spirit boxes, you're going to find a question, a non-yes or no question of something you actually know. For example, what color is the barn? We all know that it's the color red. You're going to listen for about 30 seconds or so and then re-ask the same question if you didn't get an answer. You're going to do that 3 or 4 times. Literally, if Holton's EMF is going off, and sometimes it starts already right here. He's not getting anything yet. But in the event somebody's actually here, they were a person. Talk to them like they were a person. They're not in the box. You don't have to speak into the box that you're holding. It's literally a conversation with somebody you just can't see. That's how you need to treat this. You're going to hear on your audio when I do my own little sessions that that's how I do it. Okay, Charles, tell me this now. I need you to kind of prove to me that you're here. These are people. So in the event that you don't get an answer after 3, 4, 5 times, move on to another question and let them know. If you don't want to answer what color the barn is, then tell me what's inside the barn. Now we know we're listening for the word horse. Does that make sense to everybody now? Okay, so your spirit box is super loud at times. And tonight, it's not. I don't know why. I'm actually getting a new speaker for that thing because it drives me crazy. Some nights it's and the other nights it's nice and quiet like what they have. If you're getting too close to the barn, the ponies don't like the loud noise either. So just kind of keep yours at an audible level. If yours all of a sudden wants to spike up in volume, just kind of couple it with your hand. That'll help them a bit. We want nice slow sweeps on the thermal imaging camera. You have a ton of different types of material in here. You have asphalt, metal, brick, foliage, cars. You're going to see how that thing actually fluctuates from time to time. And I'm going to work with you specifically, the 2 of you, on how that actually going to work. What else do we have out here? Pictures. When we're getting pictures, you want to kind of take pictures of what mom and dad have.
Noise is going off a little bit. Noise is going off a little bit.
Mom and dad actually have their things pointed out, so if one of you have any questions out.
Okay.
Here's your alcohol. See, you really want to take pictures through this. So in case God misses something,
Red rum.
I catch things in the green room. So it's literally going to be that small. It's going to be, you know what I mean? It's going to be that quick and that small. Same course. You can have it.
If you go on repeat ghosts like the St. Charles, like would
Same
you happen
one?
to, yeah, it's like in the same area, like oh here he is again.
So this particular lot is random. I sometimes get teammates from Big John, from his football team back in 1947. Sometimes we'll get stable kids. We never know. I mean, and once you start getting them to talk to you, like Red and Horace, then you can start going into other questions. You know, what is your name? You know, can you tell me what color my shirt is? You know, those, you want something specific. Here's why I also don't use yes or no questions. The question is somebody here is pretty common with ghost hunting, correct? And the answer is always going to be a yes or no. First off, the phonetic sound of S and O in yes and no are two of the most common sounds in the English language. So if somebody is here and they say houses, you think you heard the word yes, because it's a very common sound. That's why we stay away from yes and no. It's too hard to figure out what they actually say, especially with yours, because it's not recording anything. We can't verify it. We have to go based on yours and Bob's word.
Okay.
So that's kind of why we do that. But as far as the other places, yeah, we have a lot of residuals. We have a lot of intelligent that come through. Most of what comes through here in the next location, it's all intelligent, which means we get intelligent responses. It's that simple. Other places we get residual. That means they're pretty much doing the same thing every day. That they're here, and that's the evidence that I get. It's very common. So I'm going to send the 2 sets of spirit boxes away. I'm going to send you guys away. You guys find a hot spot.
I guess so.
We're listening for words and phrases.
Hasn't nuked that yet.
Let me kind of give you some pointers on what I look for at this guy.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
obviously, so what we have here is obviously he's fluctuating with all of his stuff. If right now he's pointed at you, go ahead and point at the red wall. Okay. So what temperature do you have there?
Reds and blues.
The
80
temperature. There
degrees.
you go. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you to point it right at the red line there. Stay with me. Let's gauge the temperature. Should be off by about 5 degrees. So you got 76.8. They're not calibrated together.
Okay.
Okay, so that's verifiable. If you start to see something drop in temperature pretty quickly, that's where I need you to focus that camera. That's why I say go with nice slow movements.
And should I be looking on objects or just generally
Wherever.
anywhere?
This does not see in 3D. So it's only looking at temperatures. What it does to help you see in 3D is put white lines around objects, or at least where the temperature differences are. So, for example, if you were to actually look at this car, for example, the car will actually eventually have white lines around it, because it'll see the temperature differences in it.
Oh yeah. Why is that going up so much? 85 versus 80.
Because cars project heat downward. So that car probably just parked there probably an hour ago. So the heat underneath it is going to project down, and the windows are going to get cooler. That's why your windows are blue.
Gotcha.
I want you to also keep in mind that that camera does not see through glass. So it looks at glass as an object because it's just a surface to it.
Okay.
So it's not going to see through glass. Now it also works with thermodynamics in reverse. So what does that mean? In the event you actually see, for example, something behind her, like in the ground, and you're staying still, and it grows in temperature, like meaning goes up, it heats up within like 10, 15 degrees very quickly in a short amount of time.
She's got something went up to 90 on her.
It's probably
On
skin.
me?
So she's got her forearms, her neck is showing, her legs are showing. Those are all going to be between 90 to 98 degrees. Usually I try to keep a person in the video So that way you have a point of reference. Doesn't matter who, we can't identify who it is unless we see that she's wearing a dress.
Okay.
Okay, so that's another reason why it's okay for me to video, because we can't identify you.
I can see right through your clothes, though, by the way, in fact.
You're seeing different temperatures. So, but the thermodynamics in reverse, where if something's heating up, the law states that you can't create or destroy temperature. It has to fluctuate.
Okay.
So if something is growing in heat, cold is also growing somewhere.
I see.
So it has to go, it has to balance itself.
One goes up, one goes
So
down.
did
Exactly.
you ever have any paranormal experience that made you initially want to start doing it?
I've been interested in this.
Interested, which was it something that sparked, like, your
Yeah.
Is there anything around me? Because I think there's a 24-year-old around here.
Oh, yeah?
That's what I heard. He said it twice.
24, huh? How old are you?
I'm 29.
30. We asked how old he was. Whoever this beard
Yeah.
is. Whoever he is.
Are you a boy or a girl? Are you a boy or a girl? See anything?
They said somebody told them they were 24 years old. Somebody told them twice that they were 24 years old. There's people do their radiator. I'm not seeing anything yet. No, what are you supposed to do with yours?
You see a blob, I'm supposed to...
Shoot at it? Shoot the blob?
It's hot here, man. It's 80 degrees. 79, 80, 84.
I see a little cool spot right
Where?
there.
Yeah.
It's not like
Where is it?
right here. But it's not. Ooh.
Where would I find it?
Shoot down here. Okay. Right there.
It's dropping weight.
What is?
Like the temperature.
Your temperature is dropping there? Mine is not.
82,
Oh.
79.
Alright, you guys get the gist of that?
Yeah, what is this all
What is
about?
this thing?
An oil spot?
So it's this dirt pile right
Oh,
here.
okay.
So dirt is always going to be cooler than asphalt.
All right.
So in the
Okay.
next lot, you're going to have a lot of those tricks of the eye because there's some mud in there, there's some gravel, asphalt.
How dark is something gonna actually? What am I looking for?
You want to see something?
Yeah.
I'll show it to you. Just so you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And what is that? That thing picks up some radio and just other stuff too, or no?
Well, basically, the gist of that is that the spirits will use the electronic energy and static to actually give us some kind of disembodied voice, but they
Okay.
can also use the DJ's voice to convey a message. It happens often.
Gotcha.
So they've already heard the number 24.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
So they heard it twice, so that solidifies things for me. So whoever's here was 24 when they died. That's kind of how I take that. Now, I can't verify any of that stuff until it's, unless it's like one of Big John's teammates. But I need a name to go along with
I
that.
wonder where they come back and that's just go to wherever they're supposed to go.
It just depends, and that's why I don't have answers. That's why I do this. So, let you break away from watching that for a second. So, what you're watching is the corner of the next lot we're going to. As soon as it wants to play, come on. I showed it last night, so it's playing. It freaks out. Come on. Why is it? No, that's not it. Why did it take it down? That's crazy. Use this one. Alright, so this one, there's going to be two normal people walking. Oh, there they are. See the two heads?
Mm-hmm.
So those people are alive. When he pans the video back up again, you're going to see two black heads go the opposite way. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
Don't know who that is.
Okay.
So that was the darkest of dark.
Whoa, it's got 103 degrees. What's up with that?
No, it's actually a shadow. It shouldn't be that high.
Is that weird?
It is really weird. You know why? Your finger's in the way.
Oh.
The camera is right here.
Oh.
That was your finger.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, let's gather everybody up and see what we've got. I don't remember names here. CHERI. No. You go by Becky?
Yep. And Jason.
All right, so I just looked at this. All right, what did you hear on those spirit boxes? We collaborate about the whole group so we all can hear it. What did you guys get?
Okay, so we asked the age twice, and it said 24, he or she, and then we got a hello, and anything else? I think that was like pretty much it.
Yeah.
But it sounds like stuff was being like strung together.
Okay.
We're also terrible question askers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna help you on the
Not
next
great
one.
at conversation.
What did you guys hear?
Communicating.
You didn't hear anything yet? I saw something in the green and gray already at the very beginning, but we'll see what we got out of the pictures. It was a very quick glimpse. Did you guys see anything else?
Lots of colors.
Lots of colors out of your EMF. Now, we can also kind of take, there's no wires above you. This is a sewer line we're walking on. There's really no reason for that EMF to go off. So, you didn't speak up enough for me to come and run over to you to find out what was going on. So, that's where you got to speak up. That's okay. We're going to get you on the next one. You guys ready to go actually learn some history now?
Yeah.
We actually had a temperature go up to 102 degrees, but then we figured out it was his finger. So we're good on that. Oh, let's watch the ponies, guys. Let's move in this way. There we go. How are you?
Yeah.
No, right? That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Thanks for filming.
I'm gonna do this here. Watch your feet.
I feel like I just walked through a spider web. All right. So, yes, another parking lot. I'm sorry, but ghost hunting is not always pretty. So, this is the parking lot. Very important parking lot that whoever goes for is always talking about. You got something already? That's cool. Awesome. So we're going to talk about that in a second. So, this actually has a lot of history. This is the home of Eliza and Charles Pinckney. Let's get you guys out of the drive, because that's the only way in and out of this lot. So, Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles and a nephew named Charles. So that's 3 Charleses. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution. Pretty big deal for Charleston in general.
Yeah.
But we're going to move on to Eliza because I hate politics and it's 2020 and politics suck. I think we can all agree to that, right? So, Eliza married Charles so she could stay here in the United States. Her dad thought he was dying. She didn't want to go. So she got married, became a citizen, and stayed here. Everything's going well. Dad gets better. Dad starts sending gifts over from England. So this is the place where I'm going to play that EVP for you. But one of those gifts that he sent over, because Eliza was a botanist, was the plant indigo. So you guys have been driving around town, you guys live here, you've seen the word indigo quite a few times, I'm sure. There's a reason. We do have a very deep gullah culture with indigo. It was Eliza.
I'm getting a low temperature read over there.
I did too. Mine went down from 80 to 70.
Me too.
You're wearing it
Right here.
So, super big important.
Which look, just like right here.
Now, Eliza was also the person that sold us Uncle Steve. For a businesswoman.
It goes 76, 77. Then when I go right here,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm getting the same thing.
it goes down to 70.
Eliza's a pretty big deal. I'll give you a couple of weird
Could be
facts
the
and
grass
questions
versus
you guys
the
will be
thing.
asking on your spirit boxes.
Probably
Eliza,
grass
you'll
versus
direct
the
her as, hey Eliza, tell me this.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
No, but not the grass right
Straight
here.
up with it.
So some
So that reverse spirit box that I told you guys about, I do want to play this quick EVP that I caught just a few weeks ago. Probably the strongest thing that's ever come through that reverse spirit box. But again, remember, she's from England, so it might not make sense to you until I actually explain it. So let me turn it up here. Again. You guys catch that? Baked beans for breakfast. You guys catching that?
Oh yeah.
So here's what happened. The red spirit box told me, I'll fix you, baked beans breakfast, and then the word list gave me the word tea. It was all within 2.5 minutes and a timestamp. I'll fix you, baked beans breakfast, and tea. That would have been a breakfast in England in the 1700s. Eliza is obviously from England. So, see how I have to look at all of those timestamps in the morning to find the clues for you guys? That's what I say when I look at it as a collective. That's where it all comes up. Your ghost hunting shows, we usually say, let's do one thing at a time. No, I throw everything out there. Let's let it communicate. It's coming from 3 different points of reference. So, the video that I just showed them was also here where we caught cold spots coming off across that wall. So, I'm going to show this to you real quick before I set you guys loose. As soon as where did I lose it at? So what we're looking at here, guys, is there's going to be 2 heads, 2 people that are alive walking by.
urinate. Ooh, 60.
See it? Right here. So, regular reference, 2 people, image. We're going to go right up there above the wall, walk past it, go, forward a little bit.
Yeah, that's the grass. It's cooler than that concrete.
Cars are clear too.
Let's go. Let's walk. Let's look for blobs. I'm just looking at all the women's panties.
You can see them?
Not really. You kind of see bras though, because the boobs get colder. They don't necessarily need to be inside. Wall's warm.
Hmm?
Well, at least we're this is pretty accurate on what should be warm and what's.
Mm-hmm.
So like walls that heat up during the day are still hot at night, 86. And then here you got in the 70s on dirt, concrete's in the 80s. Watch, I'll put it on the concrete. Boom. So we're learning our instruments. So if we see anything like in the 50s or whatever, they're getting a big reading on that. Oh. 60s. That's strange.
Well, where were they at?
I don't know.
Eliza? Are you there?
During your chair? Is she sitting next to us in a chair? Because I think that's what she said.
Don't move.
That would be so scary. She's like standing on my neck.
She's smiling for a picture.
Yeah.
She's smiling for a picture. I would die. I would love it.
She doesn't have any teeth though.
Have you seen anything? Are you guys getting anything?
Not really, not yet. I mean, I'm learning how this thing works.
Doesn't work. Just have
So like the
different
ground,
shape
like
color.
the ground is in the 70s. The walls that sun has been beating on is like pretty hot yet from the day. Concrete's hot. So it
Yeah.
will show me if there's any kind of crazy temperature drop. I just haven't seen it yet.
What about those people over there? Where are you at?
Oh, there's nobody over there, dude. Just kidding.
Oh my God. It's okay, but that's great. That's really amazing. I love the Rockets. On your show. So, we gotta ask her.
Yeah, ask some questions.
I know. What do we ask her? Are you angry, Eliza, with your situation?
Ask her, is there anything you want us to know?
Is there anything you want us to know,
We're supposed to say Eliza.
Eliza?
Eliza, is there anything you would like us to know?
Is there a hole in my bucket, dear Eliza? Here, let's see your thermometer.
Where?
Just throw it down anyway.
Oh, you've got a blob.
Yeah,
Whoa, right there.
Oh, Eliza.
that's dirt though, he said. Yeah, it's very,
The dirt.
yeah, it's 60 degrees.
64 degrees right here. Is this the dirt?
What is it? Is it water?
Is this a can?
Can. That's interesting.
No, come eat that way.
said it helps when you're looking at people for like a frame of reference. I would just love to see something just rip right through.
Just like a
Just walk her.
I shot slash shooting star before.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of thermal energy behind that plane. It's really interesting. Scary. I'm sure we will.
That's a car.
Yeah.
It just could pick up anything.
But at least it's kind of staying true to its readings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like cars and stuff.
I think if I was a spirit, I would like you.
Anything weird out of you guys?
Not yet.
That's kind of solidifies the paper. With your shot laser,
Are they anywhere
be careful that it doesn't go into buildings or windows.
Okay.
Because they're actually still open. That's the back of Five Church Restaurant.
Are they any more active? Like around, are spirits any more active around churches or cemeteries or?
Just depends on the location. Like this is, honestly, if I were to have a grand finale, this location would be it. I'm going to find a shit ton of data in here. I know it. I do it every night.
Interesting.
So they actually asked up there in that corner if Eliza was here. I told them to stay away from yes or no questions, but they said they got in a chair. I just got chair. So that makes sense that they heard the same type of phrase. I also got the word cried on my spirit box. So I said, hey, Eliza, what are you crying about? And I got the word son. Eliza did have an infant son that did not make it.
Oh.
So again, that's all on your audio for you guys to hear. I normally talk about everything as a collective when we're all together again.
Sure.
Oh, she must have been using her phone. Great. Interesting. So,
Are spirits more active in like open areas or inside places?
it's not necessarily any type of physical structure or missing structure. It's just the location.
Have you went into that old like jail?
The old jail. I did my investigation on the outside and had enough data to prove that it's haunted.
Yeah, that
didn't
looks freaking looks haunted.
Yeah.
Just going past.
Let's put it this way: my wife usually comes with me to take the photographs when I'm doing my own, so I don't have to carry 20 devices.
Sure.
And she was taking pictures, and she about dropped. She doesn't normally get affected by paranormal activity. I had to pretty much, and we tested it. Like I got her up, got her a bottle of water, moved her to a different location, sat her down in that little courtyard up there. She said she was good to go. She's taking more pictures. I'm like, go back to that same spot. Within 5 minutes, she felt like she was going to drop again. She's like, are you done playing with me now?
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
yep, I'll get you out. I just wanted to prove that weird location.
You said like how many people died there? 3,500 or 35,000? It was some crazy.
When I did my investigation there, nothing but names came up on my spirit boxes. Names. I can't verify them all.
Huh.
So it's a theme at that point.
The name game?
Mm-hmm. It's haunted as shit. I'll give you that. And if you can actually take the tour now, if you guys haven't done it already, they're getting ready to renovate it into something like an actual business.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
So,
It's for sale.
Yeah, so take the tour if you can.
Stop it. Oh my god. Dumpster? I don't want to pee behind it. Back. I don't know what to tell you. You're the smartest, dumbest person I know. Team temperature.
About 10 seconds after I walked away from you guys, that came up. The word chair came up. Literally seconds after I walked away from you. So I'm going to look and see if there's anything specific about a chair within the home. I don't know anything off the top of my head, but thank you, Google, and the historical research that I do. So there's one thing. Oh, got equality. That's interesting. So did you guys find anything weird with your temperatures going around?
I have to say, not really.
Okay. Doesn't mean that we can't. It's not there.
But I was able to see, like, I'm starting to figure this out, that the ground is one temperature, the walls are one temperature from the sun, and the grass is a different temperature.
Yep.
So I can tell this is working for sure.
Yeah.
And if I do see something, I'll know what it would do, yeah.
I'll turn it, I'll put it up on my TV and watch it. So that way I can look at the whole, much bigger than the screen that you're holding, and that way in case the smallest thing goes by, I'll be able to catch it. We obviously had quite a bit of red going on with the EMF meter. Sorry, people are messaging me on Facebook if I have tours open tonight. No, we're closed. So, anything weird out of the grids, guys? Anything crazy in the pictures that you may have saw? No, nothing yet? And did you guys hear anything out of your spirit?
We heard a woman's voice a couple times, we couldn't tell, but then we both agreed that the one thing we heard clearly was we said, Eliza, how many children did you have? And she said 8. So but I didn't know if maybe it was somebody else then or something, but the word 8 came out, and we're like, and I'm like, and he's like, what'd you hear? And I'm like, 8. He's like, that's what I heard. And I'm like,
So Eliza, as I told most of you, was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. The maiden name was Lucas. So it was Eliza Lucas Pinckney. The reverse wife goes by Eliza Lamb Casey.
John Rutledge over here.
The mansion actually caught fire up in that corner, second floor, from the Great Fire of 1861. So a lot of times I'll get the number 61 in here because that's when it caught fire. It would have been after the Pinckney age, or passed down, I think, to one of the sons. But I did get the word pride showed up on the spirit box and kind of asked Eliza about that, like, why are you crying? Again, I was trying to try something, and I got the word son that came through really clearly on the reverse spirit box. So Eliza did have a son that was only a few weeks old that didn't make it. So that would be why she would have been crying. So very clear. When I do catch something on the reverse spirit box, I do say rewind by 5 seconds. So when you guys are going through your audio, you'll have that marker to rewind it so you can listen to it again. So we're going to head up to Lodge Alley. It's about 4 blocks from here. Spirit boxes, by all means, listen to it on East Bay Street as we're walking up the street. I'm listening for names at that point. Lasers are definitely a no-go on such a busy street. It is Friday night. The EMF, buddy, I'm sorry, but it's going to go crazy because of the parking meters. You can just ignore it until we get there. Take as many pictures as you want. So you're still kind of free reign with that. As far as the camera, we still want to keep going with, filming where we're going. It is definitely a mask-up area on East Bay. The restaurants are going to have outside dining, so we're going to be passing by some of those folks. So this is definitely a masked area for us to go up to. All right, any other questions about Eliza or Charles? I was trying to get communication, from Charles, but Eliza started coming through real quick, so I kind of changed my gears a little bit. So any other questions about them? You guys are going to have more data to read anyway. I'm going to give you lots to read. Hopefully y'all like to read, because I write a lot. All right.
Is this yours, Heather? Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that, Becky. Honey.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What you thought you were going to be doing all day? Okay. All right, you got it.
Let's see, it's custom house. It looks like the Back to the Future. It's beautiful, that building.
Yeah. If you still want to. Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful, Becky? You're not looking at it. It's gorgeous.
Have you forgotten that it's payday again?
Enjoy. Welcome to have a great night, right now.
I'm gonna tell her there's a ghost behind her head. Feeling any better, Becky? Oh, this looks fun right here. Oh, that's what I intend on doing, if you're okay with it. Eric Essen saw my post and said, "You in Charleston?" He gave me a place to go if we're interested. You look just fine, baby. Oh, that's the place Eric told me to go to, I think. Yeah, pretty sure. Let me see. Isn't that weird? He literally just said that.
Let's go to spirit boxes real quick. Let's cut them off. And did you guys hear any names along the way? Okay. What about you guys? You didn't hear anything either? It's okay. So the reason why I ask is because I say people used to live here. I have a full list of residents of every person that's ever lived here. They had shotgun houses here instead of the two giant buildings that you see right now. And obviously Magnolia's at the corner, so I hear that that's one of our best places to eat. So I don't eat out, so don't ask me for anything else. But here's what actually goes on down here. I get the two names, Benjamin and John, that show up together quite often. Benjamin and John lived here in 1801. There's only 4 residents that lived here, and there was 2 of them right there at that point. When I say they were shotgun houses, you see both in the front, they were right on the back. It's very small. There's also a couple of little boarding houses here back in Alexander and Alexander. That was our boarding house. Small to view the city tonight. I like to pop up in the back. You guys before the first. You guys see down there, you guys take one stage. Breeze from low tide. Low tide. find some of people's silverware, some of the pieces of their clothing, and they consider these things to be lower. So it's also a mix for the residential that also kind of shows you how much activity can actually occur here. And we used to tell my stories of when I was doing investigations with psychic at Long Beach, and then all of a sudden all of this stuff used to come up once I started adding devices to the floor. We got a green floor that shows up in pictures all the time. And it's never in the same spot. It's almost solid in color. So I get it often. Whenever I do get pictures that actually have evidence in them, they go into the evidence folder on the Facebook page. Your photos tonight will go to your own folder on Facebook. So you'll be able to download them all at once. It just makes it easier for you guys and it doesn't take up my website space. But let's say Emmy actually captures a few things, I copy it over. I have caught little weird wisps of cold air going up in little tendrils away from air conditioning, which is also weird. And I've also caught shadow people here. So a lot of weird things happen in this alley with the pictures and the video. The names, again, I hear Benjamin and John quite often. I would say 2 or 3 times a month. We're going to walk through the rest of the alley. I will tell you, I mean, we're okay with lasers in here as long as they stay low because the hotels are actually occupied. But with the hotels in town, all of them have their own little ghosts. All of them. They won't give me free rooms to verify any of them. So read up on what you will. Hopefully in January when I start knocking on doors again, they'll start giving me free rooms. So there'll be more for the podcast. But as far as what goes on in here, they say they have full apparitions, but there's no historical tie to it, so I can't verify any of it. But we're going to actually go up this alley, pay attention to those spirit boxes, keep them at a reasonable level, just because when we reach the end of this, it is residential again. Those are people's homes, they're winding down from their busy workday, and we're going to go check out another alley, but we're going to walk slowly through this so the spirit boxes can actually give us something. I didn't get anything besides the word dirt in advance on the word list, which are probably part of the 80% that doesn't mean anything. So, hopefully, anyone take as many pictures as you want. You guys have the pictures that I can process out. So, yeah, keep taking those pictures. I want a lot of this alley if you can. You'll pretty much be the last person out, so you can get the empty alley again in the opposite direction. Okay? Alright, let's do this.
Are you there, Paul?
There's something. That was the guy's voice. What's your name? Okay. No problem.
What's your name?
What's your name? One syllable.
What's your name?
Where did you live? What kind of work did you do?
Were you rich or poor?
Do it with that alley. That was the fun.
Go right back here.
That's an iPhone 10. Or that's an iPhone, whatever. Like, yeah. Aggressive. Actually right across the street from, I think it's one more block up. They did, putting something in, like a new building in, and renovating it, and they did a big on the sidewalk on the old Charlestown wall, and they allowed them to put the sidewalk up. Yeah. Getting anything?
At the yellow house, it went yellow on that tent.
Got something from one of the rooms. You guys see anything in your
John, can you say hello?
No.
We're not.
Not yet.
We're getting like a deep male voice coming through, but it's harder to distinguish. If we asked the name, it was one syllable, so we're thinking it's John.
Yeah. Like, usually I tell the spirit box team to kind of stay away from each other so that way you're not static or over top of each other. Yeah. But I mean, it's
We were coming.
Yeah, they were down the other night until about 2 minutes.
I got the word listening, so I was up there chatting, and it's kind of like, hey, we're listening. We're going to go ahead and roll on because we got yours recording anyway. So
Okay.
if anything pops up, I'll definitely catch it.
All right.
The yellow, again, on the EMF meter, I don't normally get anything down here with the EMF, so if I do get something, it's usually exciting. I can usually get on because there's 2 places to put color.
Please submit to me. Bye, guys.
I love how they say goodbye at every
I hear the spirits say goodbye.
I get a lot of activity, and I'll close it out by saying goodbye. You should always close out like a spirit board or Ouija board session by saying goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.
Stay where you are.
Stick with you.
Cooler in here.
Well, the weather's changing tonight.
This is Nero. He's extremely friendly, but he's a very big dog. If y'all want to say hi to him, you're more than welcome to. I just don't want him running up.
Becky, careful.
Mural.
Sorry.
Of course you do. No, you're fine. You're good. They're here to have fun. This is what makes them happy. Let them have fun.
Can the dogs sense the spirits better than
Dogs see
this
things
stuff?
differently than we do, obviously. And there was actually a study that I did because they have different types of eyes. So they have diachromatic eyes, which means they only see in blues and yellows.
Okay.
They see a bigger spectrum than they do. So with that being said, they also can't see the same distance we can. That also being said, if something moves in the distance and they can't make out what kind of color it is, then of course it's going to spook them. So that's almost fully debunked with the study that I did. It depends on the dog and how sensitive they are. It's like we have,
But they can't smell spirits.
I would say smell.
Okay. Don't move, Becky. Just kidding.
All right, let's get everybody gathered around. What we got?
Your Elm Grove house, we got had some weird
Hero, come
stuff.
on.
Yeah,
Hello.
it felt, that was one time it felt weird.
All right. So
I
guys,
had the word
we're about to go
experience
through a
of
very
Becky's?
throwing my arm,
post-war area,
someone
so
throwing
I
my arm
always tell
down.
the story
At Becky's?
out here, so that way we don't get interrupted
Getting
because
eye
we actually
cream
have the tools to either prove
something
this
wrapped-
as an actual
wrapped my hand
ghost
around.
or
Becky
something
Christmas.
that's a
It was
legend.
the
So,
saint.
this is now Philadelphia Alley. It used to be called Dueler's Alley. So we're going to talk about one of the duels that occurred down here because that's kind of what shows up with the spirit boxes. So there was a doctor, and I'm going to give you the story in about 5 minutes. They make it a big 15-minute theatrical performance. So there was a doctor. His name is Joseph Brown Ladd. He moved down here from Rhode Island. Keep those initials in mind, R.I. from Rhode Island, because it shows up again later and shows up on our spirit boxes that we have out. He was supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The attorney handling that money said, no, you're not getting married. Send the doctor away. Let's make sure he's not after you to lose your money. So the doctor moves to Charleston. The coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. Not a very good start. Somebody walking by, Ralph Isaacs, with the initials R.I., says, you don't want to stay there. I'm going to take you somewhere else. About a mile and a half on the same floor as the big people that you see right there. So, to become friends, the doctor's practice starts to take off. He's making lots of money, which means Amanda's going to be moving down soon. He becomes known as the whistling doctor. You can Google this and you get a big, long, detailed story with all the extra details. I'm giving you enough of your device. So, to become friends and go see plays together, they can't sit next to each other because the doctor's in a much higher society. It's kind of like going to see the movies with your friends, but they make more money than you. You got worse seats. So they talk about these plays on the way home. They go see Richard III one night. They're talking about the new actress on their way back home. The doctor loves the new actress. Ralph does not. It turns into an argument and then an insult party on the doctor's fiance back home. So pretty low blow for the doctor. So Ralph is from here. He has ties to the newspaper. He puts a big ad in the paper about what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. He's not from here. He takes all our money. Yada yada yada. The doctor rebuttals with, let's go to Dueler's Alley and settle this. So, out of a duel, what normally happens? Someone dies. Exactly. So, one guy's not making it. There's a gate right up there to the right that goes through the St. Philip's courtyard, and they would take the dead body over to the cemetery, drop them in a pre-dug grave, and then go celebrate the winner. That's how things went down. So here's what happened with their... They come down here, they take the 20 paces, they turn, the doctor points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend. But Ralph took 2 shots below the knees on the doctor. He drops. So instead of being carried and picked up through the courtyard to his grave, he didn't die. He went home. His friends took him home. A mile and a half. He died 10 days later. Here's the moral of the story. Don't get engaged to somebody named Amanda. No, just kidding. The whole point of this is, through this alley, they say you can hear the whistles of the doctor. It is usually pretty quiet back here, day or night. You guys are locals, I don't know if you guys come down here, but it's usually this quiet besides this guy yelling and screaming.
A little breezy.
Yeah, it is very breezy tonight. I was actually trying to get, when we were at Lodge Alley and you guys were doing your spirit boxes, I was trying to get the spirits to tell me what the weather was like. Windy, breezy, chilly, any of those things would have worked. But anyway, so you can hear the whistles. We do have a lot of hecklers. We're going to hear a lot of that. Okay, there's a fake one for you. The whistle you're going to hear is going to be a little faint. Sorry, this guy's in my ear and I can't get it. Like, I'm telling you, he's going to take the actual performance. Look at that, vocal. You all see that? You can't make this shit up. I'm sorry. It just happens. Sorry for language, kids. You shouldn't hear that. But anyway, the other historical piece about this that other tours won't point out is as we walk through this alley, the bricks actually get older. So we were able to replace them with something like sharper, they got smooth. Towards the end, those are the sun patterns. Your fingerprints are still on the brick. I will point it out with my toe as I walk by. I don't walk into somebody's house. We don't want to hang out and disturb. We get a picture, have your camera ready, and take a quick picture, we move on. Now, when you look at the handprint, the thumb, it overlaps the next brick. If you think about it, that kid had to put that brick in wet and do a screw you, I don't want to do this anymore, and slam his hand into it. So, again, as we kind of cut through this alley, we're going to obviously keep masking up the corners. The spirit boxes are okay, but I'm going to stay away from them, only so you guys get a nice clear audio for your whistles. So there's a nice creepy sound effect for your audio. I usually pull the gate real slow, so you guys have a creepy little old iron gate opening up. But I do get the names Amanda, I get the initials RI, and pretty much just kind of keep it low key because there's going to be a lot of tours for you. So I'm going to mask up. Trying to think of what else. Oh, I'll tell you a quick little story that happened to me a few weeks ago. This is a little nuts. So I told you at the end there's houses, right? I'm walking through, I got a small group, it was supposed to rain, I didn't have many people. I think I had a group of 4. So I get up there and I smell something weird. I'm like, that smells like a fruit, but it's like tart. So I didn't say anything, I was going to see if one of the guests actually smelled it too. Somebody walks up and says, I smell passion fruit. Done something. I'm like, I think it's grapefruit. We argued, blah, 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 try to figure it out. My spirit box says the word pie. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense at all. I go home, I Google grapefruit pie. That's a lost recipe on Southern Living's website, and it originated in Charleston. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It sounds disgusting. Like, you're gonna get eat grapefruit pie. Like, grapefruit pie. Okay. Nice. But it was that strong of a smell, and I got this weird thing with smells. If you guys listen to the podcast, you'll hear what I did with the psychic on a few cases. But let's go check out this alley and get away from this loud mouth. You guys want to check out the gate, make a right. I'm going to go left. Just meet me at the end. We're going to be kind of swift through here.
We're going right and you're going left?
If you want to see the gate, but I think his tour is right there.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a tour right there.
Mine has been on the whole time.
So we're going to actually kind of stick together because we have a lot of tours in here. So we're going to cut all these tours at the team. That way we're not...
These are all tours.
These are
Do the same tour as well.
At least not any actual military involvement, right? Once you're 11 years old, not a lot it could do anyways. However, what you would end up doing is you would end up serving as a doctor's assistant.
Once they did honor the request and they named something after them, but it wasn't exactly a major road. The joke is kind of on Charleston, but let's look west. Had they actually named a major road after them, it probably would exist in the alley until here. And the alley has very different time, so now
What you guys are doing, I can't make it up. Like, what they're doing is also...
Have you heard anything yet?
Did you turn it back on yet? Now that we're out? Yeah, there's a car coming.
They would be in the clay.
Yeah.
In the brick.
Did you see it?
Where'd the rest of our group go?
Yeah, where did they go?
They lost them. Call Becky.
Calling Becky M Mobile.
To the end of the block, 3 blocks back.
I think the tour guide abducted my wife. I'm just kidding.
When he steps away from us, do you think he's going to feed us?
I don't know. Who knows?
Because I'm asking questions over here. You
Oh,
makes me wonder. You know what I'm saying?
Could be.
You're the skeptic that I would ask.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd like to. It would be cool if we could see something. You never know. So, what makes you believe? Have you had any experience?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, not
Okay.
here, but
Yeah.
in general. Was with my daughter once, so I heard someone in a low tone calling her name real slowly, and there was nobody around.
Oh, that's freaky.
So I thought that maybe we were near an outdoor shopping mall. We were in the area, so I thought maybe somebody from school. So we turned around thinking somebody would be like, "Hey," and say
Yeah.
something to her. We thought they were messing with us. There was nobody.
Nobody there. That's frightening.
And then we've had a couple instances in our house.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think it's legit. I just think that it's far and few between now that you can plan it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's like when you see things or hear things like that, you believe them. I believe them for like a week, and then I just dismiss them in my mind. Like, that couldn't have happened.
you don't want to go there. You're like, no.
Yeah.
So.
All right, is everyone down there? Well, I got half the group over here.
Yeah, that's true.
So, can't be everyone.
Did anyone find anything?
We'll have to wait and see.
Is that why everybody's waiting? Everyone's
Just checking it out. See, we thought that hallway or that alley would be like a haunted spot. We were kind of
So I want to hear.
Yeah, too bad it was like the tour central.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
You know, so you find good stuff. You gotta let me know if you find a ghost. Bark at it.
Oh, these people are not real. Look at the heat signatures on them.
Way back there.
Oh, that's creepy. We weren't sure which way you turned, so that's why we decided to stay put.
okay.
Good job, Becky.
We've got the group. We've got the group.
Got it back? Alright, I'm gonna line you guys up here around the corner. Do you guys see something back there?
No, with all the history in there, we're like hanging out by the entrance of it.
No. So a lot of people will ask me why we don't actually go through cemeteries. It's just kind of like that handprint. Kind of think if you were dead, are you going to hang out with your buried? You're going to go where the places you love. We're stuck here. And slave kids not hanging out around that handprint. So, sorry, I normally get that heads up before we actually go through the alley. But I just wanted to get away from all those other tours so that way we can actually have a clear audio. So, we're going to check out one more building, guys. The building catty corner from you, big brick building, that's the Wagner building. So
That looks
used to
haunted.
be part of our cotton warehouse. Cotton industry. So the warehouse is back, offices in the front. And what happened with this is everything okay here?
His dad's not well, and he called, so we're just making sure.
Okay. Last year we had this, his name was George Poirier. George inherited the business from his dad. No clue what he was doing. Silver spoon kid. Got himself into a bunch of debt really fast and lost all of his inheritance really fast. So he needed to get out of the business because we also have the gold legal income, which is above that he's talking about. He's screwed. He needs to get out of this. So what's he do? He sells it to the British because all of his debts are American. And he doesn't want to give them a bad crop. So again, Charleston's much thinner. Right across from the Wagner building is the Vendu and Pineapple Park, where the pier is. So that would have obviously been pretty clear for him to see the ships, and he watched the ship roll up. He's on the second floor up in front of the building, and they unload by horse and buggy back here out of the building.
It was pure dark.
And once it's fully loaded,
Pure
it
darkness.
gets too close to the
Just
fire.
kidding.
The whole thing catches fire, and everybody dies just watching it. So it's already impressed with his dad. His dad done something, came back all this time, and now his father's legacy is gone. So he piles up all the furniture, the captain's chair on the top, swings a noose. Now, they say you could see the shadow of the swinging corpse from the second story window. Actually, the online story says the third story, but all of my data says number 2. So, keep in mind the thermal imaging camera that we have cannot see through glass. So we're really looking for one of those windows to get a little colder. Maybe it's going to turn darker blue or black when we get to the front. We obviously want lots of pixels when we get up to the front. Okay? So, the laser is really nice to have the beam. The real test is real quick. So the peak of the building back here, the front of it, there's the same type of peak, but it's covered in stone. 5 feet below that is the same type of stone inlaid into the brick. And at times, on a non-breezy night, it can go all the way up to a 30-degree difference. And that hurts me that I need to listen to the spirit box. So we will walk alongside of the building. We got to listen to the spirit boxes along the way to kind of see from here. And get another look at the wall. So Ruben's Porch is 2 blocks up from where we came out of Philadelphia Alley. Zoe was a school teacher. That was her home. She lived there with her sister Elizabeth, but Zoe died in the home by falling down the stairs. So we get all kinds of hauntings down there, and she does show
Thank you. Taking me out.
French after that because she's of French descent. Zoe Saint Amand is her name. So again, I never know what I'm getting out of this building. It's kind of a last hurrah. Let's see if we can actually, because it's either both of them or none of them. Never know what's going to happen. Trying to see if I got anything along the way, see if it's going to make sense. Nothing yet. If you ask Zoe what her house looks like now, I'm not going to say restaurant. There's lots of mustard. We go here, food, eat, table, spoon, fork, one facility words. That would come free.
It's a yellow house too.
Yeah.
So if you don't ask the question, you can.
Yeah, it's too weird, right?
Good question. So I'll take it. All right. We're going to cross legally twice, but this is a one-way street, so let's see if we can collect out of this one.
You should just cross illegally once.
Yeah, the cop's trying to bust me down here. So, if they let, you know, we're not allowed in the neighborhoods. We're allowed to cut through them.
I see.
We're not to actually, like, stop where I stop.
Get that laser working, girl. Who is your daddy? Watch your step. Rush to my next tour, so I want you to grab some footage of that second story for me. Doing all right, Becky?
Mm-hmm.
We're almost done. There's dinner.
Magnolia's is right there.
Yeah, that's not where it said, but that's where one of the ladies told us it's there. He said two, what do you call it? Who knows? I mean, what does he know? Yeah.
Let me go ahead and grab that from you. Where are you guys parked? Where you guys need to be? They gotta follow me. Along the way. Okay. Oh, did you remember the yellow one?
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you guys were awesome. Hopefully everything's going okay. And I'll text you in the morning.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Sounds good.
Did you get me one video? Are you the man?
I hope so.
You are.